Hey, welcome everybody. Welcome to Adventures with Captain Ray Kelly live. And another week has passed, and I have another great show scheduled with a great guest. Um, Dre Crawford, Recoveryone Drones. He's in the back room. He's enjoying the shrimp and lobster. And one thing I got to say about Dre, he's a classy guy, and he is the best dressed drone pilot that I know. But he's a gentleman. He's a true gentleman. I flew with him out in California, and I had a great time with him and Steve, my son and his wife. We were all flying drones together down at Dana Point Harbor, and it was just a great mini meetup. And Dre is going to be a great guest. There's no doubt in my mind about it. And a lot of you all also know that he's got the M30T drone. So he's going to tell us all about that. And I'm looking forward to hearing all about it. It really seems like an awesome drone. It does. But we got a great crowd in the house already. Thank you all for tuning in tonight. I really appreciate it, and hopefully we'll learn a little something. We'll have a few laughs and have a good time. But let me welcome in most of the people. Sometimes I slip a name, so don't hold it against me. But Joe Blaylock, he was number one, and you know I tell you, I really appreciate it, Joe. Thank you very much. And Paul Brown, he was number two, and then Johnny Drone Flyer came in, and Al from the South Florida Drone Flyers, and Max Air, and I see Rob Kamada's in the house, and I'll be showing a photo that Rob sent me because he also has the M30 drone. But anyway, Jack Rabbit's in the house, and Dominic, Northside Hawk, good to see you. Bob Casey, all the way from Kentucky. Good to see you too, Bob. Dustin, One Vision Aerial, how you doing? And Lauren Dunauer, how's everything up in Canada, Lauren? I saw you had a boo-boo. You had a boo-boo while you're on, so hopefully you're all healed up by now. But there's Scott, Jackrabbit. I don't know if I said hello to Scott, Jackrabbit. Always good to see you. And I think Michael Wright's in the house. How you doing, Michael? And Michael, he called me today, and he booked his hotel room for the South Florida Drone Meetup. And that was good news. I already had him on the list, and but I'm glad he got his penthouse suite, So it's going to be good to see Michael again, and everybody who comes to the South Florida Drone Meetup. But I'll tell you, there's TJ. How you doing, TJ? And while I'm talking about it, I think I'll just put up the banner now and tell you the South Florida Drone Meetup, the third annual South Florida Drone Meetup, will be held in Jensen Beach, Florida, on April 1st, 2023. We're going to have it at the same venue, the Jensen Beach Causeway Park. It was a great venue to fly drones. Everybody had a good time, and you talk to anybody who was there last year, and I think they'll attest to that. And we had so many raffle prizes. I'm amazed at all the donations we received, and again, thank you to all our sponsors that we had. We even had the United States Army there, and hopefully we're going to have them back this year, because I'm going to get a hold of them and give them another invite. But we are listed in the Martin County guide, and that was good to see, because that ended up getting us a lot of new people that are not usually in the chats with us, and they just showed up, and we got to meet a lot of new drone pilots, which was nice. And there's Steve Jones. Steve Jones is in the house. Hey, Steve, good to see you. But I don't want to leave Dre in the back room too long. I'm sure he's stuffed on that shrimp and lobster. So I'm going to bring him in now. And I want you to please to give him a warm welcome. And Dre's coming to us all the way from California.
Hold that next order of shrimp, please.
Hey, Dre.
We're on? Oh, thank you.
Welcome to Adventures with Captain Ray Kelly Live.
Well, thank you, sir, for having me on. I appreciate it.
Well, it's good to see you again. You know, I had the pleasure of flying with you when I visited my son out in California around Christmas time, you know, and I tell you, we had a good time flying that day, didn't we?
Yeah, for a little bit of flying we did, but I think I can always tell people I enjoyed the conversation, the company more than anything else.
Yeah. And, you know, I have to say, it was such a pleasure flying with you and Steve. You know, it's always good to fly with new drone pilots that you haven't flown with before. And, you know, you feel like you know them in the chats. You know, you correspond with them in the chats, but when you meet them in person, I think it's so much better.
Yes, it is always better to actually match up faces, I should say personalities with the faces.
Yeah, and you know, you like the way I call you the best dressed drone pilot in America.
Well, don't let the appearance fool you.
You really look good, you know. And I was expecting you to show up that day. I met you, you know, in a suit and a tie, shirt and tie. But you came with your Marine Corps jacket.
Yeah.
And I was impressed with that. And thank you for your service, you know.
Well, thank you for yours, sir.
You know, and I know you're a former law enforcement officer also.
Yeah.
You know, we got a lot in common. We do.
Yeah, we do. That's why I enjoyed the company as much as I did the flying, because you and I could talk, swap stories all afternoon long.
Yeah. And my son was very impressed with you, just to let you know, too.
Well,
He was.
I may need his services hopefully down the road. When you said what he does, I'm thinking, okay, he does a little this and that. And I said, oh, he's big time in the productions. You know, I'm like, this guy is, you know, somebody I need to keep in the speed dial.
I might have to tell him to go get his Part 107. But he's so busy, really, Dre. He's so busy. He doesn't really have that much time to fly, believe it or not. But they're doing well. How's the weather been out there? Has it been conducive to flying?
Well, me being inland, where I'm, in case everybody knows, I'm about 50 miles east of LA, and we call it the Inland Empire. And temperatures here range about a good 10 to 15 degrees higher or lower than they are in the coast area near LA. So when they talk about 88 in LA, it's 98 plus out here where I'm at.
Right.
I'm basically on the edge of the desert heading out towards Palm Springs area. We're like back in the day when the Hollywood stars would go to Palm Springs for weekends, they would stop off in San Bernardino to refuel and head out, make the rest of the trip to Palm Springs, which is another 45, 50 miles down the road from where I live at.
Yeah. Now, I saw you live the other day, you know, and I found it very interesting. You were training with the San Bernardino Police Department, correct?
Yeah. I was talking to some guys the other day on Adrian's show, and why I'm interested or trying to promote this type of activity. And it goes with the class example, what's happening in Kentucky, parts of Tennessee and Virginia right now is emergency response. My position in the city right now is safety officer, which is part of risk management. And so things of this nature are always on my mind as far as, are we prepared for any natural disasters? And when it happens, it's always, you know, a day late and a dollar short type of activity. You know, so this is why I want to reach out to my PD brothers, reach out to our county fire brothers and everybody else, so we have a good, or at least a working knowledge of what's available to us out there in case of we need resources. So actually, part of my job is put together the emergency operation plan for the entire city. So
Oh,
I need to
wow.
know how many drones are available that PD may have. I didn't know what kind of drones are available that the county fire. We used to have our own fire department. We dissolved it, and so now we have the county fire agency now. So I didn't know, what, how many drones are on each rig, or what rig has drones, which one does it. So in case of emergency of an earthquake, which is our big thing we have to worry about, is not it's not when if, it's when it's going to happen. It's just a matter of time for us because we sit right on the San Andreas Fault. So
Okay.
anything above a 7.0 could be catastrophic for any cities in this area as far as damaging infrastructure, roadways, anything like that, where drones would be very useful for getting access, coordinating responses for rescues and many things of that nature.
Yeah, well, you can never have too much training. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
You know, and even me, when I was on a police department, I would volunteer for training.
Mhm.
I would actually look for training and go to my
Right.
lieutenant and say, "Hey, lieutenant, look, they got this training in
Yes.
California. Can I go?"
I was the same way when I was in the military. I volunteered for all training, same thing as an officer. If I heard about some training, that's how I became a drug recognition expert. I volunteered for the training and got certified in it. Advanced officer training, these things, sign me up, and that's how you later on, it helps you out down the road as far as your advancement if you plan on staying into the field.
Exactly, exactly. Well, it sounds like you got a great job, a lot of responsibility there, and I was very impressed that you were doing that with the PD. I
Yeah.
was, you
Well,
know.
I say I'll let this out, Cat Ray. My thing is, I'm trying to influence people because I don't have no real budget. So I have to uh, try to influence those who do have the purse strings and say, we need to spend some money over here, over there, and say, we need to get ready. Everything from radios to, like I say, drones or whatever else is that we can't try to make up and buy these things when the events happen. We need to have them already in place.
Exactly, exactly. I had Sergeant Steve Jones on the show last
Yes,
week,
I enjoyed
and
him last week.
and he, obviously he's in charge of his drone unit on that police department, which is the Baytown, Texas Police Department. And I had met him at Spin Up. Um, and when I was talking to him, obviously I was very impressed that he was a drone pilot for the department. And when he was a sergeant, that even impressed me even more. But what he had told me is he had big plans to try to expand the drone unit.
Hmm.
And a lot of times you have big plans, and like you were just saying,
Right.
it all depends on the purse strings, and
Yeah.
if they want to put it in the budget. But when Steve was on last week, he said he more than doubled his drone pilots. He had 4 at the time, and now he's up to 10 drone pilots, which I think is
Great.
great.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
And like you know, Cabaret, we have in first responders, we have something we call mutual aid, and I'm sure it's nationwide. Where this is where you have to coordinate with different agencies, and that's why I want to go out and do the training with these guys, because when you have a disaster event that happens, you're going to have what we call the NIM system, National Institute of Management System, and you're going to have your incident command scenarios to where the person on the scene will be in charge until higher ups show up, and it goes up the ladder. And everybody needs to have some kind of working knowledge of how to work together, and that's what makes it critical about the training part. So when you have events, like say, those who don't know, we had our massive active shooter event back in 2015 with two, I would say, homegrown terrorist individuals, a husband and
I
wife,
I
who had the
remember that.
scene here. Guy came in on a Christmas party and shot up all his coworkers at the Christmas party. And his accomplice was what we found out was his mail-in bride that came in from the Middle East and was his accomplice during this event. and he had other people who bought the weapons for him legally. These are legally bought weapons and everything, but it just goes to show the response. We had officers from almost every surrounding city respond to that. So you're talking about officers from not just the county sheriffs, but Fontana PD, Ontario PD, Upland PD. These are all communities around the city, and everybody needs to have a basic understanding in incident command scenarios. So it does pay off to do the training.
It's something how you brought that up, because I remember watching it that day it happened, and I said,
Yeah.
"Oh my God, look at this!" And well, anyway, you can never have too much training. You got to be prepared, and you got to be aware of your surroundings. No matter where you are. You had mentioned the Christmas party there. But it's happening at the malls quite frequently.
Yes.
Lately. So, and warn your wives and your partners to always be aware of their surroundings.
And circling back, Captain Ray, that's why I talked a little bit yesterday when I was on with Adrian about those who live close by in these areas that are being impacted now with the flooding in Kentucky area and so forth, is that volunteer your time, when you can. I'm sure they'll be more happy to accept you to do some kind of flyover areas that are not easily accessible to vehicles and everything else. And like I said, there's only so much you can do with the limited amount of resources they do have. A lot of times they only may have one, maybe two helicopters at disposal. You're talking about they can only fly for so long before refueling, before the crew has to be grounded, and that drone could be going to different areas. So just for surveying to find out what the damages are at and everything else, you can help out your local municipality quite a bit. Where they need to go next as far as allocating resources here and there.
I had heard you say that on Adrian's show yesterday, and I was saying, that Dre is 100% right on that, and I'm glad you repeated it today, on today's show, because your services can be used. There's no doubt about it, and a lot of people are shy about that. I'm not. I've already offered services to different police departments, in Florida primarily. But I haven't been taken up on it yet, but I have offered it,
Yeah.
But
and I tell a lot of people you can get involved. This is a national program. It's called CERT Team. This is basically Citizen Emergency. I think it's a network team, what it stands for, but they call it the CERT Team. Just about every community has one, which is basically a bunch of all civilian volunteers. A lot of them are ham radio operators qualified. In other words, have other retirees that have other skill sets in other areas. And they come out for a lot of community events to supplement the officers, where they don't have to have so many people out there maintaining, low-level situations where they can have officers out doing something else more important. But look it out. If you're interested, look for a CERT team in your area, and you can probably volunteer through them more than maybe the department directly.
Well, that's good. That's good to know. And we got a few more people in the chat, just to let you know, Dre. They must have heard that you were on. Joe, Jaybird, good to see you. Harley, Greg, good to see you. And Aki Rasho, always good to see you. And I think I had said hello to Lawrence earlier.
Yeah,
but and it's funny because after the stream, believe it or not, I feel bad if I didn't say hello to certain people. And I don't do it on purpose. But it's hard to keep track of your conversation. Watch the stream. See if we got any questions. And if you have any questions for Dre, please ask them. We'll try to get Dre to answer them. And you're not going to believe this, Dre, but Eddie Nunez is in the house.
Oh, we got celebrities in the house now. Eddie Nunez.
How you doing, Eddie? Good to see you.
Co-host of the
Tony, Quadcopters Tech.
Okay.
But speaking of Quadcopters and Tech, I just want to let everybody know that he has sent some lanyard holders for the DJI RC. and this is going to be this month's giveaway. So we'll get around to that a little later, but I want to say thank you to Tony and Quadcopters Tech. So
yeah. Hey, Cap, I'm gonna ask a question real quick. Lauren Donner asked about, was I using the M30 and the M300 in tandem? Lauren, I don't own the M300. I own the Enterprise Advanced and the M30T. So if I ever have to use them in tandem, those will be the two birds I use in tandem. Will be the M30T and the Enterprise Advanced, and that's why I'm kind of glad that DJI has put that thermal camera on all the drones at a certain level that, you know, no matter if you get the Enterprise Advanced, the M30T, or even the 300 with the H20T camera, you're going to get the basic functions, similarity functions, either one of those drones as far as getting thermal work and even zoom capabilities of it.
okay, good. I just find that thermal camera so interesting. I really do. I don't know what it is, but I'm hoping that you could talk about your M30 drone right now. I think now would be a good time to talk about that. You did a nice lead in, Dre,
All right.
answering Lauren's question.
Just to give everybody a background, I've been flying drones for about 4 years now. Got my Part 107 back in 2019. Actually decided to actually use it to with my original work at the time I was a construction inspector, a lot of commercial projects that a lot of you guys are experiencing in your areas. All these different, we call it tilt ups, large warehouses. So instead of me walking these large facilities every day, I was able to fly them and get the necessary photos that I need from using drones. So that was my first intention of using drones itself. I never was a hobbyist to start from. It was all about me being an inspector. So that was my focus when I got into this. You know, I studied hard, got the 107, got out the way, and I'm off and flying. And like I said, I started off getting a Spark, went to a Mavic Original Pro. Then I got into the Phantoms, which I still use. I even have an old Phantom. I had a Phantom 2 originally. Went to the 3 Pros. Now I got a set of Phantom 4 Pros that I do most of my mapping, and that's what brings me up to the M30T. All of us know that DJI doesn't continually support their products for any extensive amount of time. Just recently they stopped supporting the older Phantom 3 series, which is it's dated, you know. But when you look at regular counter dates, it's not that old aircraft. But like I said, drone years is probably more advanced than dog years. You know, a drone that came out a year and a half ago is already forgotten about. You know, and we're talking about something like a Phantom 3 Pro, which, you know, 2017, I think the Phantom 4s came out, and then you stopped getting major updates for the Phantom 3 Pro. So that's just the nature of the business with drones itself. DJI is not unique in this. Alltel has done it with certain drones they've had where they just dropped support for it and moved on to the next thing that's selling off the shelves. So, like I said before, you know, me using for inspections, when I go out and fly for inspections, I'm out there burning anywhere from 3 to 5, 6 batteries at a shot. So that puts a lot of wear and tear on the aircraft, and especially on the batteries when you're flying a lot and using the batteries up that much. So with not being able to get a lot of OEM parts, when you talk about props, you're talking about the batteries themselves. I have a issue with third-party batteries with the Phantoms. It's not about the power; it's the fit. They just don't fit in the slot all the time, and it all
I don't know if you can read it, but there we go.
Right.
I got my battery from Amazon.
Right, and like I said, that's my concern, and the reason why I had that, because I've had my original Phantom 4 come out of the sky and pancake on the ground, went to a bunch of pieces, all because the battery, after I put it in, just eased out a little bit, enough to disconnect the power. The drone came down. So that's why if you see some of my live shows when I'm out in the field, my Phantom, I try to grab it underneath there and pull it back out to make sure it is seated in there tightly. because the vibration of the drone itself can cause that battery to be dislodged. So
Well, I have
that's
to
one
say,
of my things
Dre,
there
when
that
we
I
flew
need to.
together,
Yeah, right.
and you had set that Phantom up, and you
Right.
brought it right down, I was wondering what was going on, and you said I got a battery
Yeah.
warning.
Yep. And all I did, I had to reseat the battery, make sure it was in there real good, set it up, flew like a champ. But
Yeah.
sometimes you never know when that's going to happen, and can you catch it in time? So with that taking place, and that being one of my concerns, I was looking at the next level drone that I might need to replace my Phantoms with, because I'm not able to buy the batteries that I want to buy, and so forth. So I was hoping that the Mavic 3 was going to come through and be able to be the next drone. It didn't. I had high hopes for the Evolve 2. I think that should have been at the price range, that if they would have had the bugs worked out of that drone, I probably would have purchased that. I like the fact of having interchangeable lenses,
Yeah.
which means I can use it for inspections and cinematography if I want to do that kind of work. That drone should have been the money pot drone right there. They're still working the bugs out of that. So when DJI came out with his M30T, I started seeing rumors of it early part of the late last year, early part of this year. I said, this might be the winner here. And the more I kept doing research on it, I'm looking at it and all the features on it, I went ahead and focused on this M30T and decided to pull the trigger a little earlier than I wanted to, because I was not planning on buying this drone until maybe around late October, early November time frame. But our economy over here prompted me to go a little faster, because I didn't want to pay any higher interest rates. Getting a loan for this thing.
Yeah,
So,
right.
that's what I say. I saved myself probably about an extra. You guys don't think about it, but I saved myself probably extra $500 to grand in interest alone by buying it now than what the interest rate is going to be October and November. So that's why I went ahead and made the purchase now, a little ahead of schedule than I had planned on. But so far, I've had it about 2 weeks now. I am very pleased with it. All the videos I put out for you guys to watch, I encourage you to go see those videos whenever you get a chance. I will be doing a mapping video probably within another week or two to see how it does. I know there's been other videos people said, well, it's not good for mapping or whatever, but everything I have researched says it is very compatible and very, I can say, comparable of doing mapping, no problem. So I want to test that out, and I will do a video on that also. So I'm going to do all the things that I normally do with my Phantoms and slowly work this drone into the rotation with my Phantoms and see how it works out. Right now, I have a third set of batteries that are on back order. I have 2 sets right now. That gives me a solid 60 minutes of flying. And I like the fact that the drone never has to be turned off. So whatever is logged into the drone itself stays logged in. I don't have to reset the compass, IMU, all that kind of stuff we do when we change batteries on other drones. This one stays hot, keeps rolling. So I'll be able to go forward from there by swapping out the batteries and getting the job done. But I want to have that third set of batteries so I have a solid 90 minutes of flight time. And I don't think I have any job I have currently that goes beyond that as far as flying, actually.
Well, I tell you, Dre, it's amazing. The drone is really, really amazing, And I know you had put up a video on it. So can we show that right now?
Yeah, you can show the first one. I show the one I did over the weekend, which I guess is taken quite off. I've never had a video get over 1,000 views in 2 days. Never. So I'm quite shocked.
Well, I tell you, I am so impressed with this drone, and it's one of those things where, I think everybody else will be impressed with your video. So let's show a little bit of that now. And hopefully it's showing.
Yeah, I see it coming up. I think this is the one. And this is where, in this video here, you don't mind me talking while it's running. I took a couple of film classes while I was in college. I was up at Utah State. And I remembered something in class about, this is an old Alfred Hitchcock cinema movie right here. And as you guys will see the drone in the air, I also use the Mavic Enterprise Advanced to get this done. The M30T was just launched, or we just sent up in the air, held it at 200 feet. The M30T never moves in this clip. All the movement is done by the Enterprise Advanced. And this is an old Alfred Hitchcock move on how he shot his movies back in the day when they didn't have the tools or technology that you put something up and then you rotate the other camera around it. And the angle of why you shoot it gives you the impression that the object in focus is actually moving around itself. But it never moved. It sat right above my driveway at 200 feet.
Well, I tell you, I was very impressed with this video. I really was. You know, so kudos to you, Dre. Really.
So that
really cool.
was an old Hollywood trick.
No.
And this last part here is that as I come in with the Enterprise Advanced and I zoom in a little bit, and then you raise yourself a little higher than the drone that's been focused on, it makes it look like it's landing, but it never dropped at all.
Yeah. Well, man, it's cool. Very, very cool. Really nice. You know.
Yeah.
So obviously, you're very happy with the drone.
Yeah, I am very happy. This is like I say, no drone is perfect. Like I was talking about in this last video I did about people complaining it only has a 1/2-inch sensor. I said for 4 cameras on a system, you get as much as you can. I mean, the H20T I think has a 1-inch sensor, but it's a little bit larger camera payload. That means you have more weight on the M30T. So I tell people a 1/2-inch sensor is not bad for having the different cameras you had. And the video I did the other day where I showed the low light capabilities of it and also the thermal capabilities of it, this goes to show the versatility of the drone itself. I mean, it is something that those first responding units who can afford this drone, they will love this to death. And like I say, me using it for mapping, everything else, and like I say, it's just the next step for me to move away from my Phantoms to something else. I'll keep flying my Phantoms because it's one thing I learned. I got a new KML file, and those who may not know what those are, these are the files you usually get from clients asking you to go shoot different grid patterns of land. Okay, and when I upload it to the Pilot app, because the M30T is so new, the Pilot app recognized the KML file, no problem, but it showed the M30 with the P1 camera instead of the M30T. So it's something I have to see how it works out until the M30T becomes more familiar to other software developers and become more familiar with the grid mapping systems that are out there. Yeah, the FPV camera is nice, Rob. It takes a little bit because that really tells you how much that drone is bouncing around as far as when you're flying. And most of us are used to seeing to the regular camera that has the gimbal attached and all the stabilization it has. Pretty much, okay, Steve, I hear you. Thanks for coming in, partner. But when you go to the FPV mode, it picks up every little jerk and everything that you're doing up and down, sideways, and everything else. So it gives you a different perspective. But I say in low light conditions, that FPV camera is nice for low light, and the rest of the cameras come in. That's why if you haven't seen the latest video I put out called Beast, I think that's it. Yeah, that one right there shows all the capabilities because I also purchased the speaker and spotlight system on the thing. And I tell you, Captain Ray, it just kind of transforms it to a whole nother level. That light is so bright that you think you had a helicopter up there searching on the ground.
Really?
So the light is very impressive. The speaker, you can do text to speech. So in other words, if you don't, want to talk into the controller, you can text what you want to say, and it gives you about a half a dozen languages where you say it in. So you got, I think it's Mandarin, Spanish, French, English, UK English, and a couple other languages that the speaker will put out what you type in there for it to say. Or you can record your voice, or you can record even music onto the controller, and it will play the music.
Well, that's amazing. It really
Yeah,
is. And that's a good tool to have, really.
yeah.
You know, so many different things, especially, you know, that it could
Well,
do it in different languages.
that's why I was impressed, because you never know when you're doing I say large events, you may have a mixed group of people to where, especially out here where I'm at in Southern California, where Spanish is almost the most spoken language than anything else now, that I can still text in English and it will say it in Spanish.
Yeah.
So, you don't have those issues that across the well, I didn't know what we're supposed to do and couldn't understand what was being said. So you have the ability to basically communicate with the crowds in their native tongue.
You know, I wish you were closer, Dre. You know, that I could get out there and see you flying it. You know, but I'm hoping to get together with Rob Kamada because he has it also.
Yeah,
Because he volunteers with the Syosset Fire Department, and he ended up being instrumental in getting them to put it in their budget to buy one. And I'm
yeah.
going to show you a picture he sent me today, and that's
Oh,
the M30 right there
right.
in front of the communications unit. So
Yeah,
very, very cool, Rob. Thank you for sending me the picture. And hopefully
yeah.
we'll get together and fly and I'll see it in person and be able to touch it.
Well, I would say to Rob, convince him to spend the extra dollars to get the light and speaker combination. It is a big major asset to that drone.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. No, that's cool. Um, it really is. So I guess it's your new favorite drone, I guess.
Well, Cap, I'm a big believer. My favorite drone is the one I have in hand. 'Cause
Mhm.
like I told some people the other day when I did another video about the pros and cons on it. This is not a cinematic drone. It does not shoot in RAW, so you're not going to be able to color grade a whole lot with it. You're only going to get 30 frames per second out of it, so you're not going to get that 60 frame or 120 frame per second. Even if you lower it down to 1080p, it's going to be 30 frames per second. So that's where you're stuck at there. It is a work drone. That's what it is. It's built that way, and that's what it is. It is a work drone, and basically the camera itself is going to be pretty much automatic. You don't have to. It doesn't have adjustable shutter on it or anything like that. So yeah,
Yeah.
what you see is what you get, pretty much.
Dre, Rob mentioned that it was a big push to get this purchase this
Yeah.
drone. So the light and speaker will have to wait a while.
Well, you and I know, Cap. There's always that. I think what they call it, the malevolent fund. 'Cause I know they always do the same thing for canines. Oh, you guys have a little, go to a restaurant and have, say, come down and support the canine unit, and whatever you donate, whatever, we'll take it. Same thing. Go down and support the drone unit for the for the PD
Yeah.
fire department. Say we appreciate all you can give us, and if they
I
can
think
knock out a
Rob will
plane or
have to
two,
do
that'd be
like a
great.
demo day for the citizens of Syosset.
Yeah, yeah,
you know, and
yeah,
I know people would find that very interesting. There's no doubt
yes,
in my mind
yeah.
about it. You know.
I think for the price point, DJI, really, I don't want to say hit a home run, but they definitely hit a solid double or triple on this one.
Yeah.
As I would say, the stand up double.
All right. I know you had said that it's the drone that you're flying that's your favorite, but besides
Yes.
that M30, really, which one do you like the best?
Uh, I would say playing with the zoom lens is quite entertaining, because like I say, it is a loud drone. Uh, in a urban environment, you may not hear it as much because all the different activities going on, ambient noise, and all that kind of stuff. So you can probably slide up pretty good. The day I had out with the officers, they zoomed in on a parked car in the housing development to the north of us. We're about 800 feet out. We were able to see the plate and see the front seats clear as day.
That's
at
great.
800 feet out, and he was about 300 feet in the air.
And that's an officer safety thing too.
Yes,
It's very
yes.
important. Yeah,
And
definitely.
that part's what's impressed. What's more is, I say, impressed me the most is that part right there. That you know, its usage or is only limited by your own imagination. I put it like that.
Yeah. Hey,
You know.
Robbie's in the house, coming to us all the way from Thailand. Good to see you, Robbie. And Reptilian Research, how you doing? Good to see you. Um, so we got a great crowd in the house, and I want to say thank you to all of them for watching the show tonight. You
Yeah.
know, but listen,
Well,
I do have a little tip of the week, and we sort of touched upon it a little bit. The tip that I had written down is just to maintain your batteries and be sure to rotate them and replace them when necessary. You know, um, I label when I first bought this drone, I started labeling on A, B, C. So I put letters on this one. Since then, I have switched over. Now I number my batteries. So I have 1, 2, and 3 right now. I don't know if you can see that with the glare, but this is battery number 2 for the Mavic 3. But it's good to maintain, rotate, and replace your battery when needed. Don't you agree, Trey?
oh yeah, I always label my batteries either 1, 2, 3 or ABC, so I keep track of rotation. Also, those you guys like myself who use the Air Data software, the M30T is already accepted into that software, so it will help you keep your maintenance schedule up. You know, read your batteries and everything else. So I'm a big supporter of that.
The other thing is, if you have any other tips, Dre, you could share them right now too. Um,
Uh, my biggest thing, I think a lot of people, especially with this heat wave we've had this year, Cap, across the country, a lot of folks are understanding. I put out a video several months ago about ambient temperature. Be careful when you fly, uh, and that's one thing I also like about this drone is that it doesn't heat up. It has built-in fans in it that pushes all the air out of the back of the drone. Out of the back of the drone. When I pull the batteries out, they're never hot. And I took the
okay,
temperature in air data, and the hottest this drone has ever got is just about 104 degrees, as hot as ever got. And I know from flying my other drones, my Phantoms and Mavic 2 Pros and so forth, 130 degrees is not unusual for those. And when you get close to 140, Air Data sends me an email telling me your battery has got to extreme levels. So
oh,
that's what I
okay,
like about that program. It even warns you when your batteries are reach extreme levels. That's basically why I'm trying to push it a little too hard down into the mid to low 20% range, which I don't do often.
well, that's good. That's good. I mean, batteries are crucial. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
They're
Oh,
crucial to
and the big
flying.
thing is, I got to tell people that the design of the drones since the Mavic series has came out is that DJI has gone away from venting the drones. You go back to the earlier drones, the Phantoms, where they had a lot of air vents in the frame, so air can get in and air can get out of them. The Mavics were kind of like if it didn't come in behind the camera, it wasn't getting the air. But also, they didn't have any outtakes for air to get out. And in the battery compartment, from the I would say back to the original Air, which I had, and the Mavic original Mavic Pro, and even especially the Mavic 2 Pro, there's no ventilation for the battery.
Right.
So all that heat just builds up. So the heat that's in the drone and the battery itself stays contained, and that's why I truly believe that's what caused the swelling in a lot of those batteries over the years, especially the Mavic
Exactly.
2 Pro, which had a heck of a time having swelling issues. And so
Right.
that's why
Right.
you got to be careful. Like I said, you don't want to get out there and ambient temperatures where it's already 90 something degrees, and you throw your drone up and you're only flying about 4 or 5 minutes, and you're right up to about 120, 130 degrees already.
Right. Let me say hello to Hugo, Vista, uh, Leon, and Phantom Flight. Herman, good
Yeah,
to see
Herman's in
you.
the
Thank
house.
you for popping in. You know, um, But I mean, I I wonder if there was a battery issue with the drone that fell out of the sky at the South Florida drone meetup. I just wonder about that.
Yeah.
But we'll never be able to find that out. So unless that drone's recovered, maybe someday. But
Yeah.
listen, Dre, I like to show a couple of videos, and I
Go
had
right
told
ahead.
um, people if they want us to show them to send them in, and Barry said we could show one of his videos. Um, so I'm, and that's New England Dronalist. So I'm going to show it now, and I just get so nervous about um, doing this because I'm afraid I'm going to lose the stream.
Well, you
But
can't be no worse than Johnny. He usually kicks himself out.
yeah, well, I've done that in the past too. But and for some reason there's a commercial on Barry's thing right off of the bat, so we got to bypass that.
Okay.
But anyway, this is the one I wanted to show from Barry. He captured some whales. He went whale watching with his
I
drone.
saw that picture he took. That was an awesome picture.
And Barry, man, I know you're not in the chat, or I missed your name, but this is an incredible video. The way he got this humpback whale up there off of Massachusetts. But look at this. And the soundtrack he used was just nice. I thought it was very appropriate.
That's
you
nice.
know.
Yeah.
Have you ever filmed wildlife, Dre?
Never had the opportunity unless I want to go out and film a couple of coyotes out in my area.
Well, coyotes are fun too.
I don't get to experience the wildlife like Ron Lockwood or Mark Fisher does. People come up to your front door, deer eating out your hand, all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah. But anyway, I want to say thank you to Barry for letting me show his video, and I tell you, really, really cool. I thought that was cool. When I go down to Florida, I searched the coastline for sharks, but I have yet to find them.
Wow.
So it's one of those things where, well, Drone Views Media, Alan, hey, how you doing, Alan? Good to see you. He says he filmed a few dolphins, which is good,
Yeah, I guess dolphins would be awesome because they always like to go in I guess you call them schools or whatever. They go in sequence where they all come out of the water and dive back in together.
Yeah,
you were in the Navy, Cap, right?
I was in the Army.
Oh, Army. Okay. Yeah. I remember a time on ship going to Hawaii back in the 80s, and the dolphins swim right along the side of the ships. And you see them in groups of about 8 or 10 of them, and it's almost like synchronized swimming. They're going paddling right along with the ships.
Yeah, I know they love following ships and boats, dolphin, and
yeah,
it's amazing. And Reptilian, I guess he did a pot of dolphins.
Yeah, pot of dolphins.
So that's cool.
Yeah,
and I just think it would be so cool to get a shark. There's a gentleman in California. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he's known as the Malibu Artist. And he specializes in filming great white sharks off the coast there. Obviously up around Malibu.
No, I'm not familiar with him.
Yeah, check it out. I think you'll be very impressed when you see his videos, the way he stays with the sharks.
Well,
and listen, David Lorenzo's in the house now. Yeah. David Lorenzo's in the house, so we got to say hello to David.
All right. I'm going to put this last little nugget out there, Cap, because I understand you are the catalyst behind this. I was speaking with Tom, Lens Capture, and he says when Bob gets back from his cruise from Europe, they're going to start planning a meetup in Vegas.
Oh, cool. That's good to know.
start saving their nickels and dimes.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that would be
we
fun.
haven't set a time yet, but it may be probably, I would say, next fall, because we don't want to have it too close to your event in the spring. So it'll be close to, could be Formula One weekend or something going on. 'Cause I know that first Formula One weekend starts next year in Vegas around in October, early November time frame. So it could be a lot of things going on in Vegas. So you guys might, like say, get your money together, whatever, because it looks like we're going to have a West Coast drone meetup in Vegas sometime in 2023.
All right, that sounds good to me.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll be looking forward to that. You know,
yeah. So you
um,
guys keep the pressure up on
and Johnny
the
says
guys
he's going
out
to
there.
Vegas for sure.
Yeah, I'm only about 2.5 hours out of Vegas driving wise, so I'll definitely be there for sure.
Yeah, no, that's good. Vegas is fun. I've been there
Yeah,
quite a few times. I
yeah.
donated a couple of dollars at a couple of the casinos. Not that I'm a big gambler by any means.
I'm not. My wife is the one. I would dare not try to go to Vegas without her. Her right arm be twitching the whole time I'm gone.
But again, we got a great crowd in the house, so I want to say thank you to everybody who's watching tonight. But
Yeah.
I got to do my monthly giveaway from July, and that was for a Captain Adventures with Captain Ray Kelly hat. So I'm going to put the names in the hat, and I'll draw one of the names. And I won't look, so we won't. I'm trying to build up the suspense in case you haven't figured that out.
I get you the drum roll.
So let's see who it is. Okay. And Paul Brown. Paul Brown got it. All right. There you
All
go.
right.
Congratulations, Paul. I'll be shipping you out the Adventures with Captain Ray Kelly hat. So that's cool. Very good. And I don't know. I think I said hello to Greg Hawley FPV.
Yeah. I think you caught him and a few other folks, Mr. Lorenzo, Flying Flynn Media, and Mr. Bob Casey slid in here. So.
Yeah. Yep. Bob Casey. Yeah. I reached out to him when I heard all about that flood. I didn't realize it was in Eastern Kentucky. I just heard in Kentucky.
Here. I text him over the weekend and make sure his feet
he's in Western
okay.
Kentucky.
So and that's why I tell folks, there's a lot of us all over across the country. Make an effort to reach out when something happens in the area just to make sure they're okay.
Exactly. A lot of people just don't like picking up the phone anymore and calling. Very few people will call. Everybody texts. I'm
guilty.
still old school, and I do make phone calls. So
yeah,
I had said this, but I talk to Johnny just about every day. He calls me, I'll call him, and it's nice to do that.
Yeah.
But listen, now we're going to do the contest for the monthly giveaway for August, and that's going to be one of these lanyard holders that Tony from Quadcopters Tech made. I wish I have this DJI RC on order. Once I heard it was compatible with the Mavic 3, I ordered it from DJI. It was supposed to be shipped on July 30th, but it hasn't shipped yet. So we'll see. But I was hoping I could attach it. But when I get it, I will attach it, Tony, and show it better. But I want to say thank you. So the way we're going to do, let's see, nobody's started the numbers yet. So we'll and you're eligible, Dre. You got to pick a number, the lucky number. So you don't know what it is. So put in your numbers, and I'll try to keep an eye on it. And sometimes I miss the numbers. And then I get corrected. And then that's what happened last week. I missed the number. Had to go back, people, and I called the winner. Wasn't right. Somebody got it before that, and the people, and that wasn't the winner too, because there was somebody Dewey actually got it before others. So, all right, I don't see it yet. So you keep the conversation going while I look at this
Okay.
but I'll try.
So you focus
So
on
Dre, do
number
you have a
one.
bucket list of where you want to fly someday? A dream location? Up.
Uh,
I see the correct answer. I see
all
it.
right.
All right, Dominic. He got it. Number two.
Yeah. Like
I
I said,
think he was the first one to get a number two.
as
So
a military brat, we traveled a lot as a kid. My dad was an career Air Force guy. About every 18 months to 2 years, we were packing up, moving to another base. So
okay.
traveling to me, yeah, I can take it or leave it. But location, as far as I want to fly, I would like to go up to the state of Utah, and whenever they allow us to fly, I like to fly some of the national parks in Utah.
Yep.
Get a chance to fly up there. It just such the landscape, the rock formations are just so awe-inspiring. And that is just something I always want to fly a drone through.
Well, Dad Random. I don't know if you follow him, but he's from
Yeah,
Utah. He flies
yeah, yeah.
those.
He's down that area.
Yeah, and I like his videos.
Mhm.
I think it would be an incredible place to fly too.
Yeah,
No doubt about it.
yeah. I have a spot not too far from me. It's called Mormon Rock, which is at the midway point up the Cahoon Pass, and it has a few rock formations like that, and not extensive like it is in Utah. But I need to go back up there. It's been about a couple of years since I've been up there. I flew Mavic, the original Mavic Pro, and when I first got the Mavic 2 Pro, I took them up there to fly them up there to see how they react. But I would like to take this M30T up there and get some views with it.
Yeah. All right. I mean, there's so many great locations, really.
Yeah.
But this is one of them. I'm gonna show one more video, a short part of the video. I don't think the world drone community is going on, so we don't have to cut right off at 7. But I don't want to hold you up either, Dre. So I'll see if we can play this video from Paul Brown, Williambeck, and yeah. See, I didn't do it right. I don't think.
Okay.
Never fails.
Paul Brown. I don't know how Capt became Creator of the Week. You guys got an inside deal going here. You went.
Yeah, well, it's one of those things where it's funny because what am I doing wrong, Dre? There's what I'm doing wrong. I'm forgetting to hit share. You got to hit share,
Okay.
But I was honored. Thank you very much for picking me. I really feel honored by that. But I think Paul does great videos. So let's just show his
He puts a
for a
lot
few
of work
minutes.
into his videos. Puts a
And
lot of work into
he gives away a $50 gift card, just to let you guys know, every 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
So I would be watching his channel on Sundays at 5 p.m. But he does some incredible flying.
Yeah. And
his
editing skills are top notch. I mean, he puts a lot of time and work in.
And I'm pretty sure he uses Power Director. I think he had said that. But look at this. Look at this place where you can fly.
Yeah.
North River. And his soundtracks are amazing too.
Yes. I can say his overall editing, from sound to how he combination of GPS flying and FPV flying, it all looks seamless, and that makes it look even nicer.
Exactly.
The music is like the icing on the cake with the music.
I mean, look at that. Really. Yeah. Paul does use Power Director. Yes.
Yeah. Watching his videos, it just makes me want to go out and get a DJI FPV drone. So I can get some of the footage like he gets. I mean, towards the end of this video, you can see him starting zipping around the boats and
right. Exactly. I mean, it's just so different than most videos. Look at this.
Yeah,
Look at the
right
way he's
there.
zipping along here.
Yeah, right here. Yeah.
And look how low he is, too.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very cool, Paul. You are an awesome drone pilot. No doubt about it.
Yeah. And that's what got I know Tammy Jean uses this technique a lot also, where she'll use her phantom for part of her video, and then she'll break out the FPV in some of her shots.
Yeah. I know. Very, very, very cool.
Yeah.
And a fella named Ghost won his gift card last week.
Yeah.
I was too late. I was watching it, but I was too late.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. Look at the way he goes under this bridge. Oh, my Lord. Very, very cool. Very cool. Really.
Hey, Lake Pilot.
Yep. Amazing. Amazing. So thank you for letting me show that, Paul. But Dre, I mean, we had a great show tonight. You were an awesome guest, you know.
Thank you.
And the time has come. It's that time to say our closing thoughts or anything you want to promote. Now would be the time, Dre. But thank you for being on the show. I really appreciate it.
The only thing I'll promote is that, everybody take care of one another. Go out and fly when you can. Be safe as always when you fly, and just be respectful of the rules and regulations.
Exactly. I usually close the show with get out there and fly for fun, but most importantly, fly safely, But I want to say thank you to everybody for tuning in tonight. I really appreciate that. DeMarco's in the house. Good to see you, DeMarco.
Yeah, DeMarco.
And I have to tell everybody about Drone Nation is on tonight at 9 p.m. with DeMarco and Ron and Marcus and their special guest. I think I forget who their special guest is, but you'll have to tune in to find out. So 9 p.m. Drone Nation, and then you got the Grumpy Vlogger at 8. So, but just support each other. Make sure you subscribe to everybody's channel. And I was going to show KB United's video, but I'm going to show that next week. So I want to say thank you to him, but I'll show it next week. I promise. And just get out there, fly for fun, and fly safely. And Dre, I'm going to say goodbye to everybody. And if you want to hang around, we'll